Garden fences at the rear of properties, generally speaking, are about this height. It's about 6 foot. So they are quite high, but generally speaking, somebody could climb quite easily over the top of them. What we'd always advocate is making that more difficult. Use trellis. A piece of trellis on top of the fence would mean that the fence itself becomes slightly unstable if you were trying to climb it, and that trellis itself could break, it'd make a noise, and it'd draw attention to the fact that somebody was trying to climb it. When you look over to other parts of this fence, you'll see that there is actually a rose in the middle which is growing up, makes it spiky, and the fact that there is quite a fair amount of foliage makes climbing in far more difficult, which is what we'd always recommend. When you're into the garden, have a quick look round and see what is there that potentially could help a criminal. Now, in this particular garden we've got a pitchfork, brilliant for turning over the soil, but sadly, imagine what you could do if you put that into a door and prized it open. So it's something that really wants to be kept out of the way. If they did have a problem climbing out of the garden and they were concerned about a high fence, there's a ladder just to help them. So make sure you have a quick look round and make sure there's nothing which is available that's going to assist the thief. Most sheds are really good at keeping the rain off your property, but they're not really secure buildings. When it comes to, do I put a lot of locks on the shed, sometimes a great deal of locks, as we've got here, gives the impression that maybe there's something in it that might be worth having. So it could attract a burglar. Usually sheds tend to have T-hinges. So what this chap's done here is he's put in what we call a coach bolt. So that bolt goes straight through the hinge, through the door to the back. So it makes pulling that hinge off quite difficult. And it's worth considering when you're looking at the security of any shed. If you've got a window such as on this shed here, then you can see inside the shed. Board it over so that people can't look inside. When we look inside the shed, you've got to think, what have we got in here that needs securing? In this particular shed, we've got a pedal cycle. So the pedal cycle should be anchored to something solid. Either the fabric of the building, if you can get it to the floor, one of the rafters, put a ground anchor in, put the chain around the bike, and then through the anchor. It just means that when somebody, should they actually break the door open, they're going to have to then go to cut the chains before they can run off with the pedal cycle.